72 hours, the real extent of the damage, the aftermath of Cyclone Umphoon has been emerging. And here on Republic TV, we're trying to get you the full picture. In many cases, people have not been able to reach out to their loved ones. Telephone connectivity has been hit. Electricity supply has been hit. There were protests seen in different parts of Bengal as it tries to rebuild. First, fighting the COVID-19 battle, and now it's been hit by the cyclone, which is affecting nearly 1.5 crore people. And let's tell you that here at Republic TV, we stand with Bengal, and we will try to do everything that we possibly can to support Bengal as it picks up the pieces. 86 lives have been lost, 1.5 crore people have been affected, 10 lakh homes destroyed. And as the focus shifts on rebuilding the state, there are people who have lost everything. As of now, the biggest challenge the state is facing is restoration. There are power cuts, very little drinking water in many parts of the state. The challenges are many. And in many cases, we're not able to get the full picture because there is no connectivity. And little by little, details are emerging. 4 days after Cyclone Umphoon ravaged West Bengal, operations of several industrial units in Haldia have normalized. Besides power and supply of water, a key input for running these units was also disrupted. So we're picking up more and more details of how different parts of the state of Bengal have been affected. And we're trying to get you some voices this evening on this special broadcast as we focus and put all our energy into helping rebuild Bengal and also standing with Bengal. By the way, let's also tell our viewers that you can also contribute to rebuilding Bengal, and the details are on the bottom of the screen. We have the details of where you can contribute to help rebuilding Bengal, and we'll try and go across to some of our guest people who are working on the ground, people who are aware of the situation on the ground, who will be joining us in the course of the next 30 minutes. Let me first introduce our panelists who will be joining us, telling us about what they have seen and how they feel the people of India can come together and help rebuild Bengal. I have Professor Tuhin Ghosh, Director of the School of Oceanographic Studies from Jadavpur University. Jadavpur University, by the way, is going all out. Students of Jadavpur University have started initiatives to try and reach out to the most affected parts and help people who need help. And there is also a fund that they're trying to gather. We'll tell you all about that. Usha Uttup, singer, joining us live from Kolkata, one of the biggest ambassadors of Kolkata, joining us live on what she has seen and what she feels on how everyone can pitch in and help Bengal. Dr. Arjun Das Gupta will also be joining us live, and Dr. Vinod, Assistant Professor, School of Earth, Ocean and Climatic Sciences from Bhubaneswar. Odisha, remember, has also been affected. So people of Odisha are also coming together, by the way, to help the people of Bengal. And I also have Mr. Ajay Agarwal of the Rotary Club joining us live from Kolkata this evening. But first up, let me go across to Professor Tuhin Ghosh. Professor Ghosh, good evening. And thank you for speaking to Republic TV this evening as we dedicate the next half an hour to how everyone can pitch in and help rebuild Bengal. Professor Ghosh, I know that you are from the Jadavpur University, and the kind of efforts that some of your students have put in is absolutely magnificent, and we really stand with the people of Bengal this evening. Why don't you tell us, Professor Ghosh, about what you have seen and the extent of the damage, because the full picture, I can tell you from the newsrooms in Mumbai, I can tell you it's been very difficult to reach out to even our reporters and our crews in different parts of Bengal. Connectivity has been hit, and it's been very difficult to move from one place to another or to get the full picture. Why don't you tell us and the viewers of Republic TV about what you have seen and what you know so far?
The first thing I should mention that our students from University, that they are contributing towards the people who are suffering, but also they are to feed the distressed people during this lockdown. So I must congratulate them first. It was supposed to be there in the last week of April. Initially expecting that it will landfall around 1st, 2nd. I should mention that we got longer time for preparation and all these things. And then when it actually came to the land, it touched Paradip and then Balasore.
and then it entered into the West Bengal territory. So there was some damage in Orissa part, mostly in the Balasore district, not in this West Bengal part, but still there was some damage. And in Digha, in the Purbo Medinipur district, it did a lot of damage, and the landfall was expected around Sagar Island, just at the mouth of the river Hooghly, the lower source of Ganges. So it did a lot of damage. And I have a lot of contacts in Sagar, but in last 4 days, also my network was poor, and it was restored yesterday. And you can see that the power, electricity, I'm in Kolkata, electricity, just few minutes back it restored. So the difference is there. So I could not reach any person in Sagar. So I heard that Sagar is seriously damaged. Lamkhana, all these things are severely. So we still have Sundarban, more damage, and especially with the part of river damage. In the upper part, Goshaba Island, Goshaba block, there are some damage in Rangabelia and there is the north Rangabelia, and also in the Mullakhali and Kumilmari area. And then it actually went up through the Hooghly River, and it reaches towards Haldia, and it went to the Dondam near the airport area, and also reached to other districts in Hooghly, Nadia, and it entered towards Malda, and then left India. It entered into the Bangladesh area. So the damage is severe, and the warning was such. And if we actually look back, the warning from IMD was very, very definitive. The intensity of the cyclone would have been very, very strong, and it was comparing with the super cyclone in 1999 in Orissa, but the intensity came down a little bit, and we were expecting. So we got a lot of time. We actually got a lot of warning, good warning, and it actually matched with the things mostly. So there was some problem with that. I can say you that there was some problem with the underestimation and all these things. So there was not much preparation, and you can say that there was no such mitigation all through the year should have been done. So that is my initial observation from the ground, and all my known people are physically well, all my known people, but they lost a lot of things. They lost their boats, they lost their houses, and most of the areas in the western part, the embankments breached out, and the inundation is widespread, and we are really scared that there will be some waterborne disease will come up very soon. There is the diarrhea, and we are trying to warn them to avoid that kind of suffering in near future.
Yeah, I think Mr. Ghosh, Professor Ghosh, you really encapsulated, the situation on the ground, and I don't think anybody knows the situation better than you, because and once again, the students of Jadavpur University are also going all out. There is a massive effort by the Jadav commune. I can tell you that. Let me now also go across to Mr. Ajay Agarwal. Mr. Ajay Agarwal is from the Rotary in Kolkata. Mr. Agarwal, why don't you tell us, because I know that citizens are going all out. Citizens are going all out in this effort to rebuild Bengal, trying to reach out. I've been seeing, and here in the newsroom, we're getting so many reports about community-led activities, community-led efforts to reach out to the remotest village. I heard of a group of students who were in the Sundarbans earlier, which was, of course, one of the first places to be affected. And why don't you tell us about how the community is now reaching out, and how they can reach out further to help ensure that everybody gets the help that is needed in this hour?
Even as the city of Kolkata is only starting to limp back to normalcy in the aftermath of Amphan, it is the coastal areas which have really been devastated beyond recognition. And it is, Rotary has always tried to put together efforts on the ground to stand with people who need relief after disasters such as Amphan cyclone. We keep ready with us a stock of shelter boxes, which contains basic necessities such as tarpaulin for shelter, medical kit, food and provisions for a small family. And these are always ready with us. We keep them in stock. First team of Rotarians from our district is going across to Hingalganj in the Sundarbans area in a day or so. They're just putting everything together. And in connection with the authorities there, the government authorities, they plan to bring relief to a first installment of 300 families. And from there, I'm sure the efforts will intensify. We'll be sending in more and more supplies. And we will also partner with the government of West Bengal and the Chief Minister and try to lend a helping hand financially and like you said, on the ground as well, which really gives us Rotarians the utmost satisfaction. So the shelter box program, in fact, is going to be an all-India effort. We are expecting support from at least 38 other Rotary international districts which exist in India. And all of them will pitch in with efforts because Rotary is one and we always stand by each other whenever the need arises. And this is an effort of the Rotary India Humanity Foundation in which I'm really hoping that all Rotarians all over India will come together and help West Bengal at least to come back to a semblance of normalcy, especially in the coastal areas which have really seen vast demolition. Entire villages have lost their dwelling houses. Lakhs of hectares of standing crops have been destroyed, and all the rest of it already, all of you are already aware. So this is the initial effort that Rotary is making, and we are really hoping to put our best foot forward as far as relief is concerned for Amphan cyclone.
Yeah. Dr. Arjun Das Gupta is also joining us. Dr. Arjun Das Gupta is the president of the West Bengal Doctors Forum. Dr. Das Gupta, I know that 86 people have lost their lives, or that's the official number that we have with us. Both damage to property and lives. I know that there was a massive evacuation. People were moved out after the IMD warned of the cyclone. Over 6 lakh people were evacuated, and yet you had 86 casualties. Looking at the intensity of cyclone Umphan, and most of these casualties we know are because of the intensity and uprooted trees or damage to structure, etc. What sort of casualty numbers are you seeing? How many people need help medically following the cyclone? And I know it's come at the worst time when you're fighting COVID as well. Okay, I think I've lost the audio with Dr. Das Gupta. Let me put that question to you, Professor Ghosh. I'll just keep the question brief to you. It's come at a time when the entire healthcare system was crunched with COVID-19. So, how are you seeing the healthcare infrastructure also deal with this situation?
The people actually, the migrants, came back just before the lockdown. They are safe and they were under quarantine. And just after the lockdown relaxation, the migrants came to the Delta. They are also quarantined. And so almost 1 month are gone. So if they are not affected, there is no problem. But the Delta people are very much concerned and very much restricted. So they fear about this corona. And found the shelters, there is no such that kind of quarantine or social distance. So the people came just a few days back, this cyclone. They might carry the virus, and from there, some kind of spread of virus can happen. But at this situation, they are concerned about the cyclone itself, and they know what is cyclone and what might be the damage. So they are not thinking about them. But in some areas, I heard that there are some quarantined people who are still quarantined, and the shelter is dedicated for them, like in Sarjelia, Sampart, and Hingalganj also in.
Yeah.
That is happening everywhere. In Sagar, there is some effort, but they have mixed up, what I heard, and in Namkhana also. In Patalkotina, there is
Professor
no
Ghosh.
such kind of restriction. Okay.
Yeah. Professor Ghosh, I think we have Dr. Arjun Dasgupta back. I just want to quickly go across to him. Dr. Dasgupta, give us an idea about how what are you seeing in terms of the healthcare infrastructure. Professor Ghosh was also talking about it. Like we were discussing, it's come at a time when Bengal was already battling COVID-19. As the president of the West Bengal Doctors Forum, what have you seen in terms of the aftermath of Umphan and the kind of help that the state of Bengal needs?